Hi, everyone. I'm Thérèse, and this is New York Girl Again, The After, the podcast for caregivers who've survived the hardest chapter of their lives and are now gathering the courage and the strength to write the next one. They say cats have 9 lives. I used to think people only got one. But looking back on the years since my final caregiving journey ended, I realized that versions of me had died and been reborn many times. Every time I thought I couldn't go on or believed I was stuck for good, another version of me stepped up. Maybe bruised, maybe limping, but still moving. This episode is a little stroll through the 9 afterlives we live when caregiving is over. You might be in one right now. You may have passed through some or all of them already. There is no timeline, and you are not alone. When you're a caregiver, most memories don't fade. They are imprinted forever in your mind, like those vintage photographs etched onto tin. Every detail preserved. Some are so beautiful, you wish you could live in them forever. Others, you wish you could set fire to and watch curl into ash. But either way, they stay. They follow you into the after, shaping the person you're becoming. I used to think people only got one life, one chance to become who they were meant to be. But caregiving taught me something different. They say cats have 9 lives, but caregivers, we get 9 lives too. The difference is, ours come in the after. After the camera alerts stop beeping. After the appointment reminders disappear. After the calendar pages are blank. After the silence is deafening. After the person you've centered your entire life around is gone. Every time I thought I couldn't go on, another afterlife began. Sometimes I stumbled into it. Sometimes I clawed my way there like a wild animal escaping a deep hole. And sometimes I didn't notice it until I looked back and thought, wow, look at me. So now let's pounce into the 9 afterlives, cat on a hot tin roof style. Afterlife number 1 is survival. This is the stage of catching your breath between bouts of uncontrollable crying. You eat and drink because your body demands it, not because you want to. You're on autopilot, just trying to do the next small thing before collapsing into nothingness. Science tells us it's primal biology. Your body's survival instincts keeping you alive first, processing later. Your body is reminding you you're still here, even in pieces. It is the seed lying dormant in winter soil from which every other afterlife grows. Afterlife number 2 is the stillness after the storm. The noise stops, and it is deafening. Years of alarms, appointments, and what-ifs are replaced by silence, which feels more unsettling than peaceful. I remember thinking, for the first time in over 25 years, no one needed me anymore. It was a sinking feeling, the quiet I had not known in over 25 years. But stillness is where your nervous system begins to heal. Without it, you can't build the steady ground the rest of the afterlives stand on. Afterlife number 3 is self-awareness, or what I like to call meeting yourself again. One day you look in the mirror and realize you don't recognize the person staring back. How did I gain 50 pounds? When was the last time I wore my hair down instead of a messy ponytail? When was the last time I enjoyed a meal in a restaurant with someone waiting on me? Slowly, you remember small joys. Watching a movie that made you laugh. Discovering new corners of your own city that you didn't even know existed. Or recalling dreams you buried long ago. That is our amazing brain, specifically our prefrontal cortex, the center for planning, identity, and emotional regulation. It's re-engaging, shifting you from reactive survival to intentional living. This afterlife reintroduces you to yourself, making all future rebuilding possible. In afterlife number 4, you start to love yourself again. Here, you stop punishing yourself for lingering sadness or for not getting over it as quickly as others think you should. You speak to yourself as you once spoke to the very people you cared for. You say, "You're doing the best you can right now. You deserve kindness. You deserve love. Your life is not over. A new chapter is possible. Please just hang on." Research shows that self-compassion lowers cortisol, it boosts resilience, and releases oxytocin, calming the nervous system and lowering blood pressure. Without this afterlife, your inner critic will sabotage every next stage. In Afterlife 5, we are guarding the gate. Here, you start to realize your time, energy, and emotional bandwidth are finite and valuable. Gone are the days of self-sacrifice or going above and beyond just to please others. Every no is now a yes to your well-being. Psychology shows us that boundaries protect against compassion fatigue and prevent chronic overactivation of stress systems. They teach your brain that your needs are not only important, but should be first priority. This afterlife keeps you from pouring yourself empty again, a trap caregivers easily fall into after living that way for so long. Afterlife number 6 is about adaptability, learning to bend without breaking. Here, you start to realize the past is the past. You stop waiting for the old life to return. Instead, you shape the new one with what you have now. You start building a foundation for a life you may have put on hold during caregiving or never even dreamed possible. This is neuroplasticity in action. We have talked about this in previous episodes. Your brain strengthens new pathways each time you adapt, making future change feel less like a threat and more like possibility. This afterlife turns "I can't" into "I'll try." Afterlife number 7 is turning pain into purpose. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "Why not me? Why can't I have a wild, meaningful life that still honors those I cared for?" Maybe you advocate, create, help others, or simply choose to live fully because you know that they would want that. Psychology has proven that meaning-making is one of the strongest predictors of emotional resilience. This afterlife turns loss into rocket fuel. I call afterlife number 8 the rebellion of happiness. The first really good belly laugh. The first ballroom dance lesson. The first morning you wake up excited for the day instead of dreading it. At first, it feels wrong, like you're betraying their memory. Then you realize they're probably cheering you on with giant poster boards from heaven. I'm talking about joy. Joy activates dopamine and serotonin pathways, boosting mood and increasing emotional flexibility. This afterlife proves joy doesn't erase love. It's evidence the love you gave still lives inside you. The last afterlife, number 9, is about legacy, carrying the light forward. Here, you realize their story didn't end. You carry it. In your words, in the choices you make, in the kindnesses you show, in the love you give, in honoring the life you are building. In a previous episode, I talked about continuing bonds theory, where maintaining a healthy, evolving relationship with the person you lost integrates the loss and stabilizes identity and helps you move forward. This afterlife weaves your before and after into one continuous, meaningful story. So, which afterlife are you in right now? And which one are you ready to claim next? Let us know on Instagram and Facebook at New York Girl Again. If this episode stirs something in you, please share it with someone entering their very first life in the after, thinking this is it, and let them know it's not. Please also join our growing community at newyorkgirlagain.com. Until next week, be tender with yourself. You survived for someone else. Now you get to live for you.